believe I can beat any 140 fighter in the UK. Being totally honest, it was easier than I expected. I sparred a lot of guys from England. I sparred a lot of guys. Like I sparred a lot of boxers, right?
Yeah.
And like I say, I don't think I've been in the ring with anyone that's better than me. 17, I used to watch a lot of boxing.
Yeah.
But as soon as I started boxing, as soon as I started seeing kids my age boxing as well, I became a less of a fan of boxing. It became more of like a competitive nature. How would I beat these guys?
Welcome back to Hook Boxing. We're joined by Qasim Kayani. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, mate. I really do appreciate the interview as well.
Oh,
It was my apologies for coming a little late as I overslept, but I do appreciate you for still interviewing me.
I've got to. I've got no options. This is more means more for me than it probably does for you. So it's really fun.
That, to be fair, I do appreciate that. Thank you. Because even if it's not a huge platform, it's still a platform, and you guys are reaching people like me. It's an opportunity for both ourselves. So thank you for that.
Yeah. Wow. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. So
Nah,
yeah.
no problem, no problem.
So currently you're 1-0. You went
Mm-hmm.
4 rounds against Paul Scaife, who's
Yep.
pretty like hard journeyman for your first fight. I mean, that's not an easy first one.
Yeah.
At the time, I had 33 fights to his name. He lost 31, but it's
Mm.
experience. How do you feel that went?
So going into the fight on the pads and whatnot, it wasn't too bad because I literally weighed in at 4 o'clock. So I was fighting last on the bill. I was fighting. I think I was the last fight. I was about, but the show was quite small, so I thought about 8ish, 8:30ish. But because the weigh-in was so close to the actual fight, I
Mm.
couldn't really rehydrate myself as much as I'd like to. So going to that fight, I felt good, but I ain't gonna say I felt 100%. You never feel 100% when you have to weigh in on the same day, a fight 4 hours later.
Yeah.
So I felt decent, but going into the fight, it was a different kind of experience. It was not about like it was not me trying to look for the knockout or me trying to look good. It was me trying to just do everything that was taught to me by my coach Xavier Miller uh, as a professional boxer. So I had to just look sharp, keep my hands tight, and make sure I don't get caught in those 8 ounce gloves.
Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't. I'm not trying to sound arrogant, but it wasn't a difficult experience. It was more of a bit of a weird experience.
Yeah. I mean, I watched. I've seen it. I've seen clips. I couldn't find the full thing. I don't know if I was just looking in the wrong place, but I've
Yeah,
seen
no, no,
quite a lot of
I
clips.
don't think
But
Goodwin uploaded it, and I had no one to record it for me as well, so it was a bit disappointing, man.
I've seen clips. It didn't look like the hardest fight you're ever gonna have, but for the first fight,
Mm.
it's a very good start. How was York Hall? Was that
Yeah.
nervy?
I'll be honest, because a lot of the people that were coming for me were friends and family, and there was a couple of guys. I did bring a bit of a crowd, but for some reason I don't get too nervous when it comes to fights. Even since the amateurs, the only fight I've ever got nervous for is my second amateur fight when everyone is booing me. But other than that, I had over 25 amateurs, and like, for some reason I don't get nervous. Sorry, but for this fight, yeah, I didn't really get too nervous. It was just an interesting experience, man.
Mm.
Coming into the ring, it was all kind of new, and the main thing was don't make a mistake and get caught by a journeyman. So,
Yeah.
in front of your crowd. So that was the main thing. But when it came to the actual experience of the fight, being totally honest, it was easier than I expected when it came to the actual boxing because I had a long camp. I had like a 4 month camp.
Yeah.
I was training with pros. I was sparring good pros, and I was doing well, holding my own in sparring too. So when it came to the actual boxing match, I was shocked by again though. I don't want to speak bad on Paul, but I was shocked by like how easy it was to avoid his punches and whatnot. But it was a decent little experience, man.
Yeah. I mean, you're only 26, so
Yeah,
that kind of fight, you could have another three of those and just get used to the pros. Or do you want to
yeah.
just immediately now go into a much harder fight, or just see what happens?
So when it comes to me, man, I know I'm 26, and I feel like I'm a young 26 because a lot of the time you have people that start boxing at the age of 8, and
Mm.
they stop the professional journey at 21. I had my first amateur fight at 18. I had about 20 plus fights, but then I took 2 years out because of COVID. So I haven't taken too much damage on my body. So I feel like I'm a young 26. So I can go to the late 30s and whatnot. And I feel like I'm yet to hit my prime. But saying that, when it comes to actually stepping up opponents and whatnot, I in this game to literally just, just fight journeyman, like 10 or 15 journeyman or 6 or 7 journeyman. I want to step up quickly and I want to see how good I am. So I want to fight the best possible
Yeah.
boxers available. So with that being said, I would. I wouldn't even mind my next one being a bit of a step up. Like, I'll be honest, because I believe I can be any 140 fighter in the UK. So that ain't too much of a problem to me. So even if my next one's a bit of a step up, and we gradually step up, and then hopefully I wouldn't mind fighting for a studded area if possible for like under my first 5 fights or whatever. So it
Yeah.
really depends on how fast I want to take it. But hopefully next one we get some more rounds out. Then the one after that we start stepping up gradually, get some titles and take out the whole 140 division.
So you want to kind of go a domestic route, sort of Southern, English, British, European, and
Yeah,
well, see how far you can kind of go with that, and
yeah,
whether or
yeah.
not you get the
So
opportunities as well, because obviously boxing's weird.
100%. I want to clean up the division in Britain, then see how far we can go outside of Britain. And it might sound a bit delusional to people that think, oh, he's only 1-0, whatnot. But like I said many times, I've never been in a ring with someone I thought that's better than me. So
Yeah.
I'll take them all out, man.
Everyone, you just got to
Everyone,
start
everyone.
smashing faces. That's
Uh,
all. Easy peasy.
100%. Exactly. I might take a baseball bat to Crawford's house and I'm playing, right?
Oh, I mean that would. I don't.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
a funny guy though. I reckon he would just laugh. I don't know if he would do it. He's a
he'd probably take. I'd smack him on the head with a baseball bat. He'd probably eat it. So.
yeah. Well, so something your brother said. You did an interview with IFL TV, and something your brother said in that interview was Amar. This is he just wants to fight. That's what he said about you.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't do any other job. You would just be fighting.
Exactly.
Why
The,
is
the
that?
only reason the only reason I'm kind of even working right now is literally to support my boxing
Yeah.
because I've got to pay for my nutritionist. I've got to pay for my boxing coach because that stuff ain't free. So I don't know, man. I'm just a fighting man. I come from a fighting family. Like I know a lot of people do say it, but I actually do come from a fighting family. My dad, he's quite well known in the area for growing up, having a lot of fights. My
Yeah.
older brother, of course, he's a little older now, but when he was a youngster, he was getting into a lot of fights. That's the reason he started boxing. He started boxing at the age of 16 because he was always fighting. And from that, I think I was always around boxing since I was 13, 14. But I think from the area we're in, you just want to see who the best fighter is. Like we want to see how far we can go in this game.
Yeah.
And it's not even about like the clout and the numbers and the Instagram followers. Honest to God, I don't really care about that. I just want to see how good I can be in this boxing game. So I want to see who I can beat and how far I can go, and I believe I can beat anyone. So
How
see
far?
far it
How
goes.
far do you think you can? That might be a stupid question because the confidence is exuding.
I'm gonna
So
be real with you. I'll be honest. So I sparred a lot of guys from England. I sparred a lot of guys. Like I sparred a lot of boxers, right?
yeah,
And like I say, I don't think I've been in the ring with anyone that's better than me. Don't get it twisted. I've been in the ring and I've got beaten up before.
yeah,
But at the same time, I think I think I can go quite far if I knuckle down, put my head down, and I really put everything into this. I think I can beat most people because I've got an interesting style, man. And God willing, I can take a good shot as well. And so yeah, I think I can go far, man. So I if I wouldn't be in this game if it was for world title. So that's the only thing I'd be chasing.
yeah. Do you think that confidence will sort of eventually? I mean, I know you say you don't really mind about the fame, numbers, Instagram followers, all that kind of stuff, but do you think that kind of confidence is going to appeal anyway? Because I saw on that interview, you've got a kind of mixture of, well, I think your cousins were in the comments, and then, well, at least they claim to be, and then you got a guy that's like, I can't remember what he said, but it was like a hateful comment. Not like properly hateful, just like, oh,
Yeah.
they're not going to do much
Oh,
because the confidence is like
yeah,
fake and whatnot.
Because about
Yeah,
cockiness and all that
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah,
But the
yeah,
minute
yeah,
you've got that kind of hate, you know you're doing something right because you can't.
100%. No, 100%. Because with confidence comes haters, right? So if someone believes in themselves, everyone else is going to want to pull them down, right? So I believe in myself, and I believe I can go the whole way, man. So a lot of the time, a lot of people are going to see me think, oh, he's had 23, 24 amateur fights, or how many ever amateur fights he's had. He's only had one professional fight, so why is he talking? So why is he thinking he can go so far? But really and truly, I don't really care. I think I can go the whole way.
Yeah, but I agree with that. I like that mentality more because when I hear that, I'm like,
Mm,
yeah, that's somebody that I can then imagine has a world title around his waist and saying, yeah, I
mm.
told you this, and then you're like,
Yeah,
yeah, that makes sense. Whereas you don't hear someone that was like, uh, no, when I turned pro, I didn't really think I could do it, but now I'm a
yeah.
world champ. That's so rare. Like,
Nah, that's not. Every world champion when they started off, they. So as a boxer, right? So if you start boxing as an amateur, even as an amateur, after your first amateur fight or second amateur fight, as an amateur, you always think, all right, one day I'm gonna fight in the ABs, I'm gonna win the ABs.
mm,
Unfortunately, I never won them, but that's your mentality, especially in England. Or maybe once you get a little more established in the system, I'm gonna win the Olympics, blah blah blah.
yeah,
So when I first turned over as an amateur, I always thought I'm gonna beat the best amateurs out there. That was my game. My aim was always to be the best amateurs out there. And now turning over as a pro, my mentality is like when I watch these pros on TV. Again, it might sound a little delusional, but so when I
yeah,
watch these pros, whether it's the Virgil Ortiz or whether it's one of these 140 guys from the UK, I don't look at them as fans. I look at them as how would I beat these guys?
mm,
You get what I'm saying? I'm like, what would I do to beat these guys? And so, I used to watch a lot of boxing about 10 years ago. I'm 26 now, so when I was about 10 to about 17, I used to watch a lot of boxing.
yeah.
But as soon as I started seeing kids my age boxing as well, I became a less of a fan of boxing. It became more of like a competitive nature. How would I beat these guys? So I think most people, if you want to succeed in this game, you got to believe in yourself. So you got to be real with yourself, of course, but you gotta sometimes believe the unbelievable. Yeah,
Yeah, well, that's good. You have to, because I mean, even if you fall
100%.
short and you fall short of a world
Mm,
title, you could still hit European, and that's incredible in itself. So it's like,
of course.
why aim low and then hit low and be
Mm.
happy with low? Like that's for
Yeah,
me
that
stupid.
that
But
is silly. That to be fair, I could be having this interview, and maybe in the next 7 years, I could never reach those heights or whatever. But I believe I truly will. But there's no point in not trying, right? So
hmm,
there's nothing better than to like if I can say all of this, and maybe in the next 5 6 years, I take like 4 losses in a row. I don't reach the Saudi area level, but at least I tried. So I think I'm gonna try, and I think I'm gonna make it the whole way, man. And
yeah,
you're right, man. A lot of people they're just content with a Saudi area title, with an English title or with a British title. Of course, a British title is a big thing, but I want to go the whole way, man. I want to see how far I can take it. And again, when it comes to money, when it comes to fame, when it comes to I'm totally uninterested, man.
yeah.
Honest to God, I'm a low key individual, man. Like when I started boxing, some people used to call me the quiet man because I don't talk too much, even though I sound like I talk a lot now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not really bothered about anything else apart from seeing how good I can possibly be.
Okay. Who did you watch when you were sort of 16, 17 watching?
My two favorite boxers used to be Andre Ward and Bernard Hopkins.
Oh,
So like
that's a good two. That's a very good two.
yeah, yeah, like I know a lot of people used to find Bernard Hopkins boring, but literally when he's 40 plus, I used to watch all of his fights. I forgot who he beat for the world title when he was about 46. So, but he beat like a good Kazakhstanian or something like light heavyweight.
Mm,
I watched like all his fights when he's 40 plus. Andre Ward, I watched all his fights since the Carl Froch fight, the Chad Dawson fight. I remember watching those live when he was in the Super Six.
yeah.
So them two I used to watch because I used to look at it as they're not the most athletic, but they got the best boxing IQ. I know a lot of people say Mayweather does, but he's got a father that's a former world champion. He's been boxing since the age of like 6, and you can see that natural shoulder roll and everything. Where
Mm,
Andre Ward looks like he's made everything through repetition, like through practice. Exact same thing with B-Hop.
yeah.
Bernard Hopkins started boxing at the age of 25, and again, it looks like he learned everything, and his boxing IQ took him as far as it did. So
Yeah.
they were my main two guys I used to watch, man.
Who would win, Andre Ward or Canelo? Prime for prime.
Andre Ward.
Really?
I think prime for prime. I think Andre Wood would negate him. It wouldn't be similar to Mayweather because that was a young Canelo because a prime Canelo's middleweight. But I think Andre Wood would kind of negate him a little like Caleb Plant did in the first couple of rounds.
Yeah.
But Andre Wood would be able to do it over the full 12 rounds and avoid his power shots and hit him with some of his own big shots. So I think Andre Wood on the majority decision.
That's one of the fights I always think about. You got
Mm.
some where they just don't quite line
Yeah.
up time wise. That's one of them. I'm like, oh, I wish.
That almost happened. Actually, not almost happened. That could have happened. I reckon. Innit?
Yeah.
If Canelo went up the weight a little quicker. I think that would have been a possibility.
Yeah, that's one where like you kind of look at it and go, whether it's the fighters or the actual sort of just boxing that's letting it down a little bit. It's like with the heavyweights where sort of Joshua and Wilder should have fought in 2018, and it's now
that would have been a good fight, man.
2023, and they're not even fighting each other. It's a great event.
I think that's the super fight. I think Joshua and Wilder, that's a big fight, man. Even though a lot of people would pick Wilder, I've got to pick AJ for some reason. So
I'm always going to back AJ. I love Wilder though, but I can't not. AJ is the reason that I like boxing. He's not like I love him.
Exactly, 100%.
Him versus Dillian Whyte is the first fight I saw.
And you know what? I think at the right now AJ is more or less that he's underrated more so than overrated or even rated at all. So a lot of people forget what he's done. So I think he's a good heavyweight, man. I think he's top 2 at the moment.
Yeah, I think he beats Fury. I think his style. I think his style beats Fury.
You know, especially after the last one, because a lot of people are saying Fury and dominating, blah blah blah. But Ngannou's had no amateur fights. He had maybe one amateur fight about 10 years ago before he started MMA.
Yeah.
All he is he's a lump, and he managed to knock down Fury. So AJ with his straight shots, I think AJ will take him out. I think AJ will do him quite quick as well. You know that.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, because after Fury's last showing, I don't think he's the same Fury that he was when he fought Klitschko. I think he had a bit of a downward spiral since the second Wilder fight, because he started getting caught a lot more. He stopped going on the back foot. He stopped using his head movement and all that. So I think if him and AJ get in a ring and fight, because of AJ's amateur pedigree and his power and his speed, I think AJ takes him out, man. Which is a lot of people don't share that opinion, man.
I don't know if he takes him out. That's the only thing I don't know if I agree with. I think he'd knock him down, but Fury's always going to get up. That's the problem.
You know what I think AJ, unless AJ gasses, the reason I think AJ takes him out is, especially, you can only judge people on their last showing, and especially on Fury's last showing against Ngannou, man. Ngannou's never had a professional fight. I know he's a lump and it's the heavyweight division too, but for you to get caught by say an amateur heavyweight, which I think Ngannou is, it's craziness, man. And after he got caught, he looked like he was scared of the power. So he kind of was boxing the back foot and kind of done what he could just to win a fight. Whereas I think AJ, who's got that Olympic gold medal pedigree, I think AJ would take him out. But that's based on the last fight. If the Fury that fought Wilder the first time or second time shows up, then I don't know.
Yeah,
but
that's the thing.
Last fight,
I think the Fury versus Ngannou, that Tyson Fury, I don't think we'll ever see that again. That's because he wants Usyk and he's just not even focused on Ngannou. But can't take away from Ngannou, because that was amazing.
100%. That was the best boxing.
And he won as well. Ngannou won. There's no doubt.
Yeah, 100%.
But Fury's had quite a bit of luck in his career. There's the count in the 12th round in the first fight with Wilder that seemed a bit long. The Otto Wallin where he has the cut that I think most fighters would get called off for. So we'll see. I do think Joshua beats him.
Yeah, even early in his career, he fought John McDermott, and the first time he fought him, it was McDermott got robbed. Don't get it twisted. The second time, he absolutely annihilated him. The first time, it was a bit of a robbery.
Yeah, but I don't think any of them beat Usyk. I think Usyk is the best by like a landslide. I think he's so much better than them all.
I agree with you. I think Usyk's probably one of the best cruiserweights of all time. I think, and when it comes to heavyweight division, I think he's one of the best fighters of all time, because he was undisputed at cruiserweight. He dominated Joshua. Second time was a little closer, but he still beat Joshua. And again, I don't see no heavyweight beating. I don't think Wilder would be able to land a right hand on him.
That's the thing.
And I don't think Fury would be able to box him at all, because Fury struggles against guys that are smaller than him. When it comes to Cunningham and all these like John McDermott. Yeah. So I think someone like Usyk, who's elusive as Usyk, and just outbox him and just irritate him at times. Yeah.
It'll be interesting. I mean, I'm very excited for the Fury Usyk, but I am more excited to see it Wilder Joshua if that happens, which it should. But you know,
that's a toss up. Whoever lands first, I think they win.
Because I don't think Wilder's ever been hit like he's going to be hit against Joshua, and I don't think Joshua's going to. Well, nobody can replicate Wilder's power, because that's just crazy power.
Wilder's power is actually insane. I've never seen anything like that in my life. Like, literally, even from the 90s, like you had the old school boxers, the formers, they didn't used to do what he used to do, man.
No. It's the Hellenius one where he's like on his back foot, he's leaning back, and he just like it's a short right hand. It's rubbish. It's an awful punch, and yet cleans him.
And like, his wrist is like bending as he punches as well. Like,
it's so bad.
Punch,
I know.
It's a terrible punch.
Like, awful technique. He's off balance. Everything, but still like 50 seconds, one punch, and he's taking him. Oh my god.
But
So
the
good.
maddest thing is, you still see him getting hurt. Like, I'm sure Helene's kind of hurt him in that first round as well. Like, he landed a big shot on him,
Yeah, yeah.
and then that's why he jumped on him and he got knocked out. And even against, I think Brazil, when Brazil got knocked out in the first round, he
Mm.
kind of hurt Joshua. I mean, he kind of hurt
Yeah, Wilder.
Wilder, and Wilder took him out. So I think he can get hurt, but his recovery powers are good, and his power is
Yeah.
insane. But I think if Joshua hurts him, because of Joshua's boxing shape, because of his hands and how tight he holds his guard, I think if Joshua hurts him, hopefully, since I'm a Joshua fan,
Yeah.
could take him out. But I think if Wilder lands on him, he's going to sleep for about 2 days. So
That's, I mean, yeah, I think
yeah,
Wilder lands on anyone. That's the case. It's just,
100%, 100%.
yeah. I mean, that last 5 minutes is just great talk. Really, that wasn't even an interview.
Yeah.
Uh,
That was just a boxing
One
match.
thing I was going to ask is just slightly on the like Goodwin site, your promoters. They say you'll be back in March 2024. Is that right?
So yeah,
Well,
so
hopefully.
my last fight, I must have torn my tendon and my
Yeah, I
finger
noticed.
in the first round. So I remember as soon as the fight started, I threw a couple of jabs, and I didn't realize it felt like a high-paced amateur fight. So I jabbed and I jabbed, and I was like, all right, don't get caught and knocked out in front of your crowd. Against Jenny,
Yeah.
jabbing. And towards the end of the first round, I hit with a jab, and I thought I broke my hand. Like my whole hand was like proper hurting. Went back to the corner, told my coach. My coach said, like, what do you want me to do about it? Back up, use the upper hand.
Yeah.
So jumped back up and just punched through the pain. Hurt with some shots, which looking back, if I was a little more experienced as a professional, I should have followed up and tried to take him out.
Yeah.
But since it was my first professional fight, I just wanted everything to go smoothly, so I didn't really follow up with the power shots. So yeah, so tore my tendon, went to the doctor a couple of days later. They said no punching till January. So went to them a couple of weeks ago again, put a new cast on my hand, and they said mid-January I can start punching again. So I'm gonna start camp hopefully this month, like
Okay.
pre-camp, start proper camp January, and get a fight out in March.
Yeah. Okay. So hopefully that isn't recurring because it'll just be annoying, really. I mean, do you want to get more
Hopefully
active
not.
after? I assume you do. Yeah. More active after the March fight.
Yeah. So literally, after the March one, I'm gonna look to fight every month or two, maybe every month or 2 months. Because when it comes to ticket sales, I don't struggle too much. And even if my guys ain't come to every single fight, I'll buy my own tickets. They don't really bother me. So
Yeah.
I just wanna fight actively until the end of the next year. Because by March, I think I'll be 27 because I turned 27 in February. And my aim was to have about 4 fights before I turned 27. But because of the injury, I couldn't really fight.
Okay.
So hopefully, after the next one, have a couple in a row, and hopefully end next year maybe with 9 or 10 under my belt, man. That's the aim.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be very good actually, because then you can look at 2025 as like
Titles and all that
yeah,
stuff, innit?
all sorts, and really sort of project yourself.
Hundred
I've got
percent.
no more questions. I have one thing. Well, actually, I've got one. Would you like to sort of shout anything out? I know you said don't really mind about Instagram, but still, do you want coach it anything?
I shout you out again because
Oh,
I really do appreciate the interview. And I know at the moment you got a small platform, but a platform is better than no platform, right?
yeah.
So you're giving a lot of debutants, a lot of one batters, a lot of guys with 2, 3, maybe 10 fights, the opportunity to get on your platform. You're giving them the opportunity to develop the interview skills and whatnot. So I'll give you a shout out because you're doing a good job, and you're
Thank
a
you.
very good interviewer as well. Like you literally got into a general conversation with me for about 5, 10 minutes. I
Ah,
thought chat to one of my boys.
I'm
So,
a people person. That's why.
so you're very good at that as well, man. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'll give you a shout out and I appreciate the interview, man.
Yeah. I appreciate that. One final question is something I want to do. Or do you know who Stephen Bartlett is? Not to a
Is
boxing.
it the mix light skinned?
Yeah. He does like a podcast, yeah. Something he does, he asks the people he interviews for a question to then ask the next person they have on. And I quite like that. So like boxer to boxer. I don't know who the next person is. It could be your brother, actually. Could be, but we'll see. So what would you...
You know what? If he's here, I can try to get him to. If you're free, I can try to get him to do one with you.
I've already messaged him. I think he said he'd respond this week, so I'll message him tomorrow and then see. But yeah, what question would you ask to any boxer? What would you?
If you could create your own boxer, how would you create him? So, for example, his chin, his punching power, his speed, his footwork, and his boxing IQ.
I like that.
So
That's good.
create your perfect boxer.
Yeah, that's really good. All right, thank
You
you.
know what?
That'll
That's
be
a very good
interesting as well.
question.
But I'll
Yeah,
do a little
100%.
clip. It'll have you asking and then him responding. So I'll make
I
sure you know
appreciate that,
that.
man.
All right. Yeah. Thank you very much.
You know
Really
what? Thank you. I
appreciate it.
really do appreciate it. And again, you're very good into it, man. Keep banging at your work, and yeah, man. Hopefully, we do one more in the future. Once I take out my next guy, and
Yeah.
then take out the next guy after that.
Yeah. In the future, I'll sort the lighting out so I don't look like a piece of chalk and my hair. I need a trim. Oh
Nah,
my
nah,
god.
nah, nah, nah.